So today we've got something different. We've got a Sea-Doo Bombardier. It's the Sportster 1800, and it's powered by two Rotax 717 two-stroke engines. This is a jet drive boat. It's been standing for at least 18 months in a barn here, so it's not the best conditions, but it's had a cover on it, and we're going to see if we can get it going. I'm not too sure the history or anything about this engine, whether they were working well or not, but supposedly 18 months ago it was working. So we'll just have a look over the engines, check the battery. See, there's still a little bit of oil in there. Fuel tank's down here, I believe. Fuel's probably not in the best of conditions now. Probably need to empty that out. But overall, the engine bay is not too bad. Just a bit of grime on it, but we'll clean it up, have a look. Biggest concerns are obviously the battery's probably flat, fuel going off, the carbs, or the engine's been seized, or the jet units. But we'll have a good look over it and see. So just climbed on board. You've got a nice upholstered seat, a Sportster 1800 Sea-Doo. A closer up of the controls, the steering wheel there, start stop, the chokes, kill cord, gauges, the controls there. And then the rest of it with the cover on. Turning round, the engine bay. Quite good access really. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to test this battery down here. Just a single battery. And we've got a big isolator. Isolator's off. I'm just going to disconnect the leads. I'm going to pull this battery out and then test it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be flat anyway, but we'll give it a test and just see. So I just pulled the battery out there. Looks like just a standard car battery, 12 volt. Part number on there. Platinum Marine Power, but I'll get it down, get the multimeter on it. I'm pretty sure it's flat as a pancake, but give it a proper test. So we're just going to test the battery now, see what voltage we've got. Not even 1 volt, 0.87 of a volt. So that battery is pretty much, I reckon, probably no point even trying to charge it. I think it's dead, but for the price of the battery, to get it going, definitely need one new battery. So the next thing is we're just going to pull the spark plugs off. It's a twin cylinder, 2-stroke Rotax. I think it's a 717. So we'll pull the spark plugs off and just see if we can see any corrosion inside. Might put a little bit of 2-stroke in there just to slacken the cylinders off if they are binding a little bit. We'll take them out, look at the plugs, do the same on the other side. Other side, the plugs look a bit corroded, but I think it's just standing water on the cylinder head. So we'll take them off and so pull the leads off. The front one there and the back one. Ooh, they're not even tight. Don't even need the spark plug tool because they're actually really slack. I should just pull them out by hand, which isn't not a good sign as to why they were put in the slack. As we can see, is a bit black, but nothing really concerning. That one's the same. Doesn't smell too bad. Just a bit of corrosion around the bottom there, and these are NGK BR8ES. BR8ES. Yeah, both the same. Just looking down, can't really see into the cylinders, but the threads look quite clean. So and the head's not too bad. So I'm hoping the engine's not seized, but time will tell. So with many engines like these jet boats, use your controls here. You've got neutral, reverse, and forward, and then you've got your throttles for each engine. Now, unlike normal engines where you've got neutral is neutral, on these, because they're jet, pretty much the deflector is now covering, or part covering, the outlet of the pump jet unit. So basically the thrust is going sort of forward and back equally, and the boat in theory won't be moving, but in reality they do move a little bit, but not too much. And then obviously when you put it into, say, forward, the deflector is now fully off. See, there's the pump outlet, so it's totally uncovered. Obviously then for reverse, the whole thing like comes around, so the thrust gets directed under the boat, and there's the other side, and they're mechanically linked together. The steering's done off the steering wheel itself. So not too much to it. There's neutral. Obviously if you're in neutral, the throttle on. If you've got throttle on, you can't jump in the gear. It's just a bit of a safety thing. But there's no clutch as such as in neutral disconnects the drive from the engine. It's just a direct drive engine. So you do have to be a little bit careful what you're doing, which is why it's imperative to wear the kill cord at all times when you're on these sort of boats, or jet skis, or any boat really. So now I'm just going to take the cover off the intake and just try and see if we can get the carburetors. Now I'm just taking these two hex head bolts out, or Allen key heads. I'm not sure if that's the cover that's holding the carburetor sort of intake cover on or not, but I'm going to take them off. Looks like it is, and see if we can get the carburetors. I'm not entirely sure myself if it's a single or a twin. From what I've read online, it is a twin carburetor, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get to it. I'm hoping. It's one of those things. The carburetor and the fuel is the biggest issue, I think, apart from it being seized. But it's not the end of the world. Obviously, we can clean the carburetor, rebuild it, but I'll try and not do that. But I'm not sure how the engine was stored. Whether those plugs being loose was because they'd put like fogging oil in or something. I literally don't know. So we'll just have to take it as it comes, unfortunately, with this one. Right, so I got that plastic cover off. It was the two bolts there, which got them out, and then there's the 6 on that top there, which just holds that plate on, and we've got a bit deeper into it now. I'm not sure, in fact, whether that is a plate hold, like a support bracket. A little washer there as well. But like I say, I've never worked on a Rotax before. It's one of these Bombardiers. I think it's a 717. But I'm pretty sure the carburetors are down here. So I've managed to source a battery off a tractor. We're working on a farm today. Just connected it up, switched it to the on position. I've taken both plugs out. There's a small cover down there, sort of a flywheel as such. And I can turn it by hand with the power on. We've got the choke levers here, start stop. The fuel gauge, come on, that's a primer. Ooh, and here's something. Bilge pump works. So I think it's just a case of we'll just tap it and see if it starts. Well, not start, but turns over. Oh, that's turned over quite nicely. Not that you're going to be able to see anything, but here we go. So yeah, we do have life. The engine's not seized. The pump unit's not seized. I suppose we put the spark plugs in and just see if it does fire up, but I'm very skeptical. But you know, stranger things have happened, but give it a run. Just before I put the spark plugs back in, I've just put one back in the HT lead there, and I'm just going to turn it over and see if we've got spark. Yeah, I can see a spark there, so happy with spark. The engine turns over, it's not seized, so I think our only stumbling block is going to be the fuel system at this point. So I'm quite pleased with that. Obviously we've still got the other engine to do as well. But so far on this starboard engine, all is looking pretty well mechanical wise. So let's put the plugs in and fire it over. I could even spray a little bit of carb cleaner in there just to see if it does ignite, but I'm not sure. It sounds like the fuel tank might be empty, but just to see if it does take. So here we go, here's the first spin over, no carb cleaner or anything like that, literally just put the plugs in, HT leads on, and we'll give it a go. I'm not seeing it if it does it myself yet, so this is a first for both of us here. But it's spinning over, it sounds like it's good compression. Might even do a compression test on it as well. Hasn't taken, but like I say, I don't think there's any fuel in it, the fuel gauge is showing 0. Might even just put a bit of throttle on, just to see if that helps. A bit half throttle there. Nothing. Go to full, just to see. Oh, I forgot this, look. We've got choke as well. So let's put the choke on. Bit of throttle. About a quarter throttle. Bit of choke. Still nothing. So I'm thinking it probably doesn't have any fuel in it. The tank does look empty, but I'm going to spray a bit of carb cleaner into the intake, and hopefully it'll ignite on that, and just to see if it does run. It'll run for a split second, but if it does that, then pretty happy. We'll try and get some fuel in it and try it, and then we'll go onto the next engine, I think. So put a little bit of carb cleaner in the intake there. Just off idle there. We'll see if it fires up. I'm pretty sure it will. It's got spark. It's got fireball liquid in there. So it does run. Ideal. Just needs a bit of smoke coming through there, but we do need some fuel in the tank, I think. And then we'll take it from there. So I'm going to move on to the next engine now, and hopefully get the same result. So we're just going to check the fuel level now. Now, on the gauge it's showing empty. Could be a dodgy sender or something like that. Got the filler here on the starboard side. Hose runs down, just 2 big air Jubilee clips. A wide tank runs the width of the vessel. And on the other side there, just at the top, we've got an oil reservoir for the 2-stroke oil. So I don't know if you can see in there, but just down the bottom, shake the boat, there's a little bit of fuel left in there, right down the sump. Now, probably best getting that fuel out just because it'll be stale, but it does seem to be taking on that fuel, but condition's not great. I couldn't get that hose off. I think for what I'm trying to do, I can see the level there, but for sucking the fuel out, I think what we'll do is we'll just put a pump down there, straight into that sump, and just suck it out. But yeah, not too bad at the moment. That engine, the starboard engine, quite happy with it, seems to be working quite well. Just need to get some water on for the cooling, don't want to run the engine too much. So I'll just put that metal plate and cover back on. We're just going to pull both spark plugs and do a compression test now, just to see what we're working with. Hopefully both cylinders are within 10% sort of thing on the compression gauge. It does seem to run fine, but just to have it down as for future reference. So we'll do this one, and then pretty much this engine here is, from what I can do on this, just to see if it runs, is running. And like I say, we'll move on to the port engine and do the same again. So we are. I'll pull both spark plugs out, put the compression tester in that aft cylinder, and then we'll just blip the throttle, blip the starter. See what we get on the gauge. Not too bad. And what's that reading there? 141 psi. So I'm quite happy with that. We'll do the other one, as long as it's within 10% of 140, then shouldn't have any issues with compression or running, anything like that. So I'll do that one off camera, and I'll let you know what the result was. So I've just done that one there, and we're sitting at 150, the one was 140, so they're pretty similar, so I'm quite happy with that. So we'll call this engine complete for now for testing, and we'll move on to this other engine. I'll just take the compression tester out, put the spark plugs back in, and put the the intake cover back on, and then that's it. So move on to the other side now. I'm going to do it from inside the boat just because of the way the engines are orientated. Turn the battery isolator off, and we'll take that cover off just to get access to the intake. A small flywheel cover down there, take that off, take the spark plugs out, see if I can rotate the engine by hand. We'll check for spark, and then we'll see if we can get it fired up. So here we are on the port engine. You see I've taken the inlet cover off, so you don't need to take that grate off. Take both spark plugs out. I've taken the flywheel cover off, and I was able to turn the engine by hand. It was a little bit stiff to start with, but literally for 1/8 of a turn. Got a spark plug in a boot there against the exhaust, so we're just going to crank it over and just see if we get some spark. So here we go, you can see the spark plug there. I'm just going to crank it over. And we are getting spark, so that's good. So again, I'm just going to run a compression test now on the back cylinder there, so I'll just crank it over. Sorry, turn the isolator on first, crank it over. And we're getting close to 150 on that one. Quickly do the next one. It's roughly what we were getting on that Starboard one, I think 140, 150. So as long as this one is 140 or 150 as well, I think we're on the money. Just get that wound in. Crank it up. Right. Reset. Cranking it. Let's have a look. Well, that one's even better. That one's at 170, so that's the best cylinder out of the four. That's really good. So, don't know if that one's got a bit of oil left in the cylinder or something just from cranking. It's just pulled a bit through and sealed a bit better. But that one is the best, and the rest are all the same. So, I'm really happy with the compression on this engine, or on both engines. So, we're just gonna see if we can fire this engine up now. Carb cleaner in there, not too much, and let's just hit on the starter motor. It's run, says 2000 RPM. Kill the engine there. I don't want to run it too long with with no water flowing, but that engine is running. It appeared to be running on more than just the brake cleaner there, because the brake cleaner is literally just the initial fire up. A lot of smoke now. We'll see if we can hit it on the key again. A bit of choke on. Yeah, so it would appear that both engines, to the starboard one, that one's not going. I'm not sure why it's not going, but there we go. My mistake, I had knocked the kill cord. Both engines do crank. It was just the kill cord I'd knocked there, but I think it was partly off anyway, and I've just knocked it, so that was that. So yeah, so for a will it run, yes, both engines are now running. Obviously, I think it needs to go into the water on a flat day just to actually test it fully, because we're on land at the moment, get some fresh fuel in. But from a mechanical point of view, the engines, both of them do seem to be actually okay. Good compression, they're starting up. Obviously they need a bit of help starting up at the moment because they've not been running probably nearly 2 years, but overall quite happy and pleased with the result, and I'm sure the customer will, with both engines operational. Hopefully we'll see it out of the water sometime soon. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed that, please give it a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe as well.